Our circuit for project 2 is a floating gate based Gilbert multiplier. The standard schematic for a Gilbert transconductance multiplier. We have a PMOS current mirror here and a 4-quadrant multiplier here represented by a set of differential amplifiers. By KCL, we can see that I plus here is a sum of the upper range currents I13 and I24, and I minus here at this node is a sum of these two drain currents, which is I14 and I23, and I out is obtained by subtracting I minus from I plus. Let's analyze this part of the circuit as to how we are getting currents I13, I14, I24, and I23. So this schematic illustrates the use of the two outputs of a differential amplifier, I1 and I2, as current sources for two second level differential amplifiers. V1, V2, V3 and V4 are the four input voltages and VB is the bias voltage. From the analysis of a normal differential amplifier, we can see I1 is equal to I bias into e raised to kappa V1 by e raised to kappa V1 plus e raised to kappa V2, and similarly is the case for I2. Applying a similar reasoning to the two upper differential amplifiers fed by I1 and I2, we can see the expressions for the four upper drain currents I13, I14, I23 and I24. So a 4-quadrant multiplier here takes the difference between the input voltages V1 and V2 and multiplies that difference with the other two input voltages V3 and V4. We use these input voltage differences to generate currents. So now we have 4 wires, one to carry each current, which can be identified with all the quadrants. In the small signal range, tan hx can be considered to be equal to x, since V1 minus V2 and V3 minus V4 will be approximately less than kT by q kappa, and we'll have just current flowing in one of the wires when I13 will be just. Now analyzing the circuit in its entirety, as we saw, I plus was a sum of currents I13 and I24, and I minus was a sum of currents I14 and I23. Hence we get these equations, and I out was obtained by subtracting I minus from I plus. Hence we get I out in terms of the bias current, the input voltages V1, V2, V3 and V4, and I out is equal to C dV out by dt, since the output we observe from the actual XCOS block is an output across a capacitor. So the only difference between the Gilbert multiplier, which was explained here, and the one in the XCOS file was that the one in the XCOS block would be a floating gate multiplier, wherein all the transistors would have floating gates. Let's graph for the output current against the input voltages V3 minus V4 for a family of inputs V1 minus V2. The tan H behavior for all the differential inputs is pretty much evident in these curves. For input voltages both less than kT by q kappa, the tan Hx is approximately equal to x, and it indeed behaves like a multiplier. It has the additional advantage that the output current will saturate only if one of the inputs gets stuck at some random unseemly voltage.
Now we go to the experimental results. So here we can see the computational function for our block. As discussed earlier, the equation for the Gilbert multiplier is I bias by C into tan H times kappa times V1 minus V2 by 2 into tan H times kappa minus V3 minus V4 by 2. So this we can see in the equation that we've written here, and and the value of the constants are as follows. Kappa we've taken as 0.7, and the value of C is 5 nanofarad, and the I bias value we've taken as 1 nanoampere. So this is the XCOS file of the Gilbert multiplier simulation. This is our block Gilbert multiplier that we have generated, and we are giving 4 inputs V1, V2, V3 and V4, and the output of the Gilbert multiplier block goes to a scope along with the 2 inputs. So we can see the outputs. So this is the circuit of the Gilbert multiplier, and as we can see, we're giving the inputs as follows. V1 is 2 sine t, V3 is sine t, the green graph, and V2 and V4 we're taking as 0. So this is the output that we are getting, and this seems to be consistent with what we expect because as we discussed earlier, tan h x is approximately x for small values of x, and thus the integration of sine square x, we expect a graph like this. So this means that the Gilbert cell is actually giving the right output. To further validate our simulation, we have used different inputs. Here we've taken constant inputs of 1 volt for V1 and V3, and V2 and V4 we take as 0. So here again, the integration of a line we get as a ramp. So this again shows that the simulation of a Gilbert multiplier is correct. So here we can see the schematic of the Gilbert multiplier, and as we can see, we have used a multiplier block along with the floating gate OTA. So why we use the floating gate OTA is because the multiplier block has two outputs, and since we require only one output at the measure voltage block, we use a floating gate OTA to convert these two inputs into a single output. So for the inputs of the multiplier, we are using four voltages, V1 plus, V1 minus, V2 plus, and V2 minus, which can also be thought of as V1, V2, V3, and V4. We tested this schematic on the remote server as well as the board, but we did not get the expected outputs. Thank you.